All right, it's time to get started, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you, Cohagen. Let's begin, shall we? Yo, peoples! Qushu92 here. Welcome back to more solo leveling Ragnarok. We just got introduced to Amut, the criminal in the tomb, and a person that appears to be affiliated with Tarnok, the iron-bodied monarch, which is one of the monarchs that lost in the war against Jin. So, questioning Suho and Essel as to what happened with the Great Monarch War, Suho basically just says, yeah, they're all dead, they're all gone, the Shadow Monarch killed them all. So now we're face to face with Amut, who's looking to get some more answers towards what happened with everyone. Good to see you, Michael Malger, as well. I'm going to be reading from Tapas. This is episode 28, or chapter 28, depending on how you view it. Now we get to see what happens as Amut appears to be wanting to vent his frustration out on Suho because of his answer. And now we get Amut, who's speaking to Suho, kind of reiterating what I just said.
Does that mean Tarnok, the iron-bodied monarch, also perished at the hands of the Shadow Monarch?
And mind you, Amut is, like flexing his shoulders because he's looking like he's ready to fight again. Amut, the criminal within the tomb. If he's asking about the iron-bodied monarch, this Amut is probably an iron-bodied monster. He might get hostile if he finds out that I'm the son of the Shadow Monarch. And while Suho is thinking this to himself, we see what appears... is that the foot or is that the hand of Amut? I think it's like the foot of Amut, as it looks like he's preparing to kick Suho, and then Essel screams out, "You monster!" Oh yeah, he did try to squash Suho. Because all we get is just like the image of him, moving away really fast, and Amut crushing the ground underneath his foot. And Suho backflipping many, many meters behind him. What the heck was that for?
You were taking too long to answer, so I assumed you were thinking up a lie. Answer my question or die.
This guy's way too trigger-happy.
I'll ask you again. Did the iron-bodied monarch perish at the hands of the Shadow Monarch?
Then Suho answers, "Yes, I heard that all the monarchs were slain by the Shadow Monarch. I hope he doesn't fly off the handle after hearing that his master is gone."
I was wondering why he never came to see me again.
And this sends chills down Suho's spine.
So, the bastard's finally dead. I must remember to thank the Shadow Monarch for this.
See, this is one of the scenarios I had in my head. Either he was going to be very upset that Tarnok was gone, or he was going to be happy that the iron-bodied monarch was gone.
I must remember to thank the Shadow Monarch for this.
And it almost looks like Tarnok is kind of smiling. Mind you, we can't even see his eyes because dude's whole upper head is just still covered in this cloth.
Was that a smile?
So, the iron-bodied monarch wasn't your master?
My master? That bastard? What a rude thing to say!
As Tarnok looks like he's charging up power in his fist like he's preparing to hit Suho.
I think I'll kill you after all.
And Suho braces himself, and Tarnok prepares to move his fist forward, but all of a sudden, chains start erupting from his shackles. And they start to envelop his arms. They start to envelop his arms, and they stop his fist.
Chains? These darn chains. I must have traveled beyond my limits.
Cause there's a barrier, or at least a line that shows his boundary of how far he can move from within this tomb. And he tried to hit Suho beyond this barrier, and the chains immediately stopped him. They wrapped around both of his arms, the one that was about to hit Suho, which is literally just a foot away from him. And they're binding him to this tomb. And then the chains start swooshing, and they start dragging Amut backwards. And he's doing his best to hold himself, but the chains are dragging him back inside of the tomb. He's bound to this place. He can't leave it.
Don these chains. Don that tonic, and don that mage. Don them all too.
And you know what he says. But he gets dragged back inside of the tomb, and it's just silent now. And Suho's just looking like, what? He was taken away by chains that appeared out of nowhere. I don't really know what happened. I don't really get what happened, but I'm relieved. And then Essel chimes in.
Young master, are you all right?
Yeah. We should proceed with caution, now that we know a monster like that is here. And mind you, while Suho was able to take advantage of full recovery, Gray was not, and he's still knocked out at the place where Amut, pretty much kicked the both of them. Let's take this time to give some first aid to Gray and the people of the Osterda Guild. Then there's a blip because... Oh, it's a blip notification. Bloop.
Huh?
Quest info. Urgent quest. Realm corruption. A corruptive force has been detected in this realm. Enter the gate and eliminate the source of the corruption.
And something is happening to the notification of this quest for clearing out this corruption. It starts getting fuzzy. It starts getting fuzzy and starts, looking like it's malfunctioning. There's something happening to the quest.
Is something wrong, young master?
The urgent quest was just updated.
Urgent quest. Realm corruption. A corruptive force has been detected in this realm.
It is changed from enter the gate and eliminate the source of the corruption to enter the gate and free Amut, the heir of the iron. Ah! What? Ah! Amut is the next heir he's got to have join his team. Amut is the next person? This broken dude? This S-rank person? This S-rank monster? That easily bodied Randolph and destroyed these giant centipedes as if they were nothing and could have easily killed Suho? Suho's gotta go in there and free him and recruit him. Oh, okay.
Urgent quest. Urgent quest. Realm corruption. A corruptive force has been detected in this realm. Enter the gate and free Amut, the heir of the iron body, from the pyramid.
According to the system, that monster is the heir of the iron body. And then we just look at the remains of, well, pretty much everyone who tried to fight, and they're just laying on the ground. Well, not just everyone who tried to fight. We cut back into the area where Randolph and his scavenger team, they went in there and they all got butchered by Amut. And we just see we just see them all dead, just still laying in this room. I wonder if they're going to see, yep, there he is. There he is. Randolph's body is still above the doorway. It's still there. Those must be hunters from the Scavenger Guild. I guess they were wiped out by Amut. And then Suho glances over and sees Amut bound up in chains, the very same one that dragged him back into this place.
I didn't think you'd come looking for me. You're pretty bold, human.
I came to have a proper conversation with you.
We already had one.
You tried to kill me. That's not how a proper conversation is supposed to go.
Is that so? This is just how Tarnak raised me. So if you have a problem with my manners, go talk to him.
And Suho's thinking, he's like a violent, honest child. Do I really have to take someone like him as my companion? From what you said earlier, you seem to be holding a grudge against the iron-bodied monarch. Why's that?
Is that all you want to know? Well, I suppose I have time to kill, as long as I'm trapped by these chains. My name is Amut.
And we see the face of Tarnak, the iron-bodied monarch, and we see the hooded person, possibly the mage that he was talking about earlier, behind him while he just formally introduces himself. We're not going to address the fact that Renoff is still embedded in the doorway. Suho and Essel didn't notice that. You see his leg still dripping blood over the doorway. That should be the first thing you notice. If a body's bleeding above the doorway, blood's going to be dripping down. How do you not even notice the blood at the doorway? It's not like a day has passed. It's not like a week has passed. Moments, mere moments. His body up there. How y'all not notice? If they leave, they're bound to notice that Randolph is still up there. I'ma be patient. Let's see.
My name is Amut. I am the creation of Tarnak, the iron-bodied monarch and a mage. But my creators abandoned me to rot in this tomb.
You were created by the iron-bodied monarch and a mage?
That's right. They are the ones who turned me from a normal beast into what I am now. But they abandoned me here to rot among the dead, bound by these chains.
You can't break those chains?
These are magical chains. Even if I break them, they'll track me down if I stray too far from this room. Because of them, I haven't even been able to visit the depths of this tomb. I will never forgive the iron-bodied monarch and the mage for the torture they put me through.
The quest wanted me to free Amut, so I guess that means I have to do something about these chains. But they're magical chains that can't be destroyed. Is there any way to get rid of them for good? Amut's probably already trying to pull their anchors from the walls. Wait a minute. Amut, were there already other magical beasts here when you were sealed in this tomb?
Yes.
But that means you're not the boss of this dungeon, right?
Correct. I am not the boss of this dungeon.
Then have you seen a room sealed off by giant iron gates somewhere around here?
This room is all I know. The chains have prevented me from exploring the depths of this dungeon. But why are you asking me all this?
That's strange. Why would it be important to keep Amut from exploring the entire dungeon? Why did this mage create chains to stop him from straying too far from this room? If my theory is correct. Hey, Amut, will you grant me a favor if I free you from this tomb?
You're going to free me from here? If you free me from this place, there is nothing you cannot ask of me. Are you willing to hunt down and kill the mage, or do you know how to undo this spell? Or are you just making false promises?
And when he says that, the chains that are bound around his arms, he starts to break through them as well because he's getting upset.
You know what I'll do to you if you lie to me, right?
And, he's shattering the chains, trying to, I guess, intimidate Suho a little bit. And Essel, kind of shaking a little, is behind Suho, and she goes,
Young master?
just hear me out. So many hot takes have always begun with just hear me out. My plan is to destroy this entire dungeon.
Huh?
You said that the chains stopped you from exploring the depths of this dungeon. Don't you think that's because the mage wanted to prevent you from killing off the boss of this dungeon? If we were to slay the dungeon's boss, this dungeon would be destroyed. What do you think would happen to those chains if they didn't have anywhere to anchor? The chains would become useless once they have nowhere to attach to. And Amut is silent and he's just listening. And then he smirks, or at least what amounts to a smirk for him.
That's a fun idea.
And then time passes as we cut to further inside of this tomb, and then we get Beru with tears in his eyes.
Young master, how could you leave me all alone with this reptilian lowlife?
Quit buzzing around like some kind of fly.
So Amut is unchained, but he's just sitting by himself inside of this solitary room, and Beru is meant to be there to watch him.
Did you just call me a fly? I ought to tear you up into little pieces.
Whatever. Anyway, I never would have guessed that brat was the son of the Shadow Monarch.
And then he just slams his hand on the ground.
This is the furthest I am allowed to go into the dungeon. It's been a while since the heir of the Shadow Monarch disappeared down this path. The plan will fail if he cannot defeat the boss of this dungeon, or if destroying the dungeon has no effect on these magical chains. But I sensed an odd conviction in his words.
If I free you, you have to do anything I ask, okay? And this is before he left. And this time, Suho was flexing his muscles before he left with Essel. And then Amut is just, musing to himself. Not only can we not see his eyes because of the cloth, but he also has bandages over his eyes as well.
Tarnak, you created me to prove that nothing was above physical power. But even those who appear weaker than us can seem powerful. If it's him,
mentioning Suho,
he may have what it takes to free me.
And it shows Suho as he's also using Ruler's Authority to basically beat up these gigantic stone golems that are inside this dungeon as well. And he's just crushing all of them. Bodying all of them. He even knocked one golem's head straight off of its shoulders. And then Essel is here as well. Just one to go. And it shows someone at the, there's just one individual left in this room. This giant amphitheater of a tomb, of a boss room. And it shows someone standing at what appears to be like a sphinx, like a stone sphinx. And they're just standing there, but they have a red aura around them. And it's someone sitting down in a throne at the top of these stairs. And it's someone called Sika, or Saika. I'm going to say Saika. Ooh, nice motif with the throne. It's this individual sitting on this throne, very big, wide body, hair that almost looks like it's feathers, and a lot of gold and silver adornments around their shoulders. Saika, the guardian of the tomb. To be continued. Ladies and gentlemen. That was a good chapter. I love that. Yo, we're soon about to have Amut join the team. So, now we know why Amut has been chained up in there. Tarnak and a mage created him. as a being to show that there's nothing above physical power whatsoever. And the chains that are pretty much bound Amut also tether him to the tomb. So before he could, try and kill Suho after Suho answered his question and even insinuated that Tarnok was his master, because apparently we find out that he did not like Tarnok at all, because he endured torture, pain and torture for who knows how many years of his life. He gets dragged back into the tomb because he's essentially bound there. The crew is not bound to me, they're bound to the Dutchman, and the Dutchman must have a captain. Amut is not bound to me, he's bound to the tomb, and the tomb must always have a dungeon boss. It's essentially that. He can't leave whatsoever. He's forcefully bound there. He's bound there for all eternity. But Suho, and not only that, the system changed. It changed. I said chained instead of changed. It changed from eliminate the source of the corruption to basically free Amut, the heir of the iron-bodied monarch. Because essentially, he's the result of the iron-bodied monarch's power and a mage of unknown origin. So he essentially is the one that can carry on the will of the iron-bodied monarch, even though, he doesn't like him. So now we have another companion we can add to our ranks. Bro, see, having the heir of the beast monarch is one thing. Having the heir of the demon monarch is another thing. Or heir of the white flame, basically demon monarch. But having the heir of the iron-bodied monarch, and it's a creature that is, because he used to be a normal beast, but he was forcibly changed into what he is now, and the dude is broken. He's busted. Someone decide with Suho with that amount of power? There's literally no way Suho would have any trouble with Lee Min-sung if he has Amut on his crew. He was able to body Randolph like Randolph was nothing. Still need to talk about how they didn't notice Randolph when he was dead. Warwick, basically. Hold on. Warwick. Oh, this is a League of Legends character. I had a feeling that you were referencing something. I didn't know what exactly, Ramil. Also, Ramil, it's good to see you. Still waiting on the PlayStation Network to come back so I can continue with some more woo-wah, because we're still waiting. Good thing I have games where I don't need an internet connection to, enjoy them. Thank God for offline Elden Ring. But Amut he's actually been trying to get free, and now Suho sees like, if we destroy the boss of this dungeon, then we destroy the dungeon, and we destroy the anchors of these chains, which means that we'll eliminate the one thing that's keeping Amut bound here. And if I free him, then he gets to do whatever I say. And Amut says, like, if you free me, there is absolutely nothing you cannot ask of me. Basically saying, like, if you free me, hey, I'll do whatever you say. But Beru is also watching over him because I thought Amut originally was just still in the same room he was, but no, he's gone to where the limits of how far in the dungeon he can go, and he's just waiting for Suho. And Suho has made short work of everything leading down to the final boss. And now we have someone named Saika, Guardian of the Tomb. And if this is the boss of the dungeon, then this is how we free Amut. And if Amut is on the team, Lee Min-sung is about to have some serious problems. Overall, this was a very good chapter. Yes, I like this chapter very much! Ooh, the prospects of having a powerhouse like Amut. Now I'm wondering. Let's see, Vander, Warwick, they just redesigned him from Arcane. Oh, right, I forgot about Vander. But Amut is like Vander, a regular dude, turned into some monster. You say Saita, but it says Saika. Saita, short for Saitama. Man, when's the last time we had a One Punch Man chapter? Hold on, let me check. Make sure that I didn't miss a day. I didn't miss a day. We just didn't get a chapter of One Punch Man quite yet. Okay. I just had to double check for myself. But This is actually a good chapter because it means that Suho is about to have a very powerful person on his team. And since we already have bond skills with Gray, we have a bond skill with Essel, I'm just wondering, with the amount of power that Amut has, what is his bond skill going to be? How busted is it going to be? Could he get like a status boost or something? I don't know. Because Amut is a powerhouse. He's a unit. He is a him unit. And he's going to be on Suho's team? He'll be a Suho team! Okay. I see you, solo leveling Ragnarok. I see you bringing out that sauce. I see you bringing out the power. This is why I love this series. I'm telling you right now, if we do not get a solo leveling video game on consoles, that isn't just a port of the mobile game, I'm gonna be thoroughly upset. There's so much potential with this. Please give me something. I'm going off on a tangent here. Please forgive me. This was a good chapter because it's got me excited. It has me excited for what we are about to see when Amut joins the team. I can't wait to see the whole group dynamic because Amut has been trained and taught to have those types of manners because of Tarnok. So now I can only imagine how his manners are going to change once he's around Beru and Suho and Essel and Gray for an extended period of time. Will he soften up, or will he be just as brash but not as bloodthirsty? I'm just excited to see where this point of the story goes on. The moment Suho brings down this dungeon and frees Amut. I cannot wait. This is actually a chapter that's got me massively excited right now. I knew that we were going to get some good information from this chapter compared to the last one, but I cannot wait to see where this goes. Qushu in chat, you lot are awesome. Well, thank you, Designs. Thank you. I like to think that the community that I have here is one that is very welcoming and one that you can easily enjoy while you're here. So I thank you for saying that. I appreciate the compliment. I really do. Time for me to get started on Solo Leveling's next episode. I feel like we only have like a handful of episodes left before season 2 is over, so it won't be too long now. But overall, compared to last week's chapter for Solo Leveling Ragnarok, this one is really good. I dare say it's possibly just a little, possibly better than the last one. Mind you, we got a showcase of Amut's power showing that he is basically an S-rank monster that just easily trivializes literally everyone. From Randolph's team to Randolph to creatures that not even Essel could leave a single scratch on and just behaving like, these ain't nothing. Ain't nothing happened. Now back to our conversation. I like Amut. I like him. And now that he's soon going to be a part of Suho's team because of what's happening here, I can't wait to see how he operates when he's sided with someone who actually appreciates him. Because all Amut has ever known is the iron-bodied monarch and the mage mistreating him and torturing him. But with Suho, he doesn't have those tendencies. He's too much like his dad, where if you're a friend to him and you're genuine about it, you have one of the most powerful and greatest friends in the entire world. Jin was the same way with the people who were close to him. He had massive respect to Gogun. He treated Jinho like a brother, respected his family and adored them immensely. All of him gaining power was for the sake of his family and those he cared about. This is transferred over to Suho. Sure, he may be a little bit headstrong, but he's still like his father in a lot of good ways in how he treats those closest to him. So I feel like Amut is about to experience a whole new world of genuine companionship that he never got with the iron-bodied monarch. And I can't wait to see those chapters in the future where we get Amut who's standing next to Suho with maximum respect. Not a single hint of like, oh, I wonder if he's going to betray me one day. No, it's just, I can't wait to see Amut and Suho's relationship with each other go from where it has been now, where he was ready to kill him, to now where he's ready to fight for him at a moment's notice. The same way Igris does for Jin and Belion and Beru and Tusk and Jaimin and all the other and all all the other major shadow soldiers that he has under his wing, Jin has under his wing as well. I can't wait to see how this relationship that Suho has with his bonds, both current and in the future, can't wait to see how they evolve as the story goes on. Love this story. I love this story. And we're only 28 chapters in. I can't wait to see the next one. But I'm done, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot wait to see where the next chapter brings us. But I'm done. All I can say to you is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples.